Start your week smiling with your friends, Kathy Zant and Michelle Frechette. It's time to get ready for some weekly motivation with WPMotivate. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Michelle. How you doing?
Good. I just love that sometimes we have these long conversations before we even start, and I'm still laughing before as we hit recording because I just love our conversations so much. And obviously we ramble and we not mumble, but we ramble a little bit on and stuff here in the podcast, but it's nothing compared to the stuff that goes before and afterwards that we don't dare publish for the rest of the world to hear, because some of it's the inner workings of our brain, and honestly not everybody needs to be privy to that. So
Yeah, that's what therapy's for, but this is
right?
kind of like junior therapy, but with a very positive twist always.
Absolutely. I love that we can vent to each other about whatever's going on in our life, but it's more in a supportive way, and hey, have you thought about it this way? And oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And yeah. And why don't you go take a nap? Things like that.
Naps, always
Go for a walk,
naps.
take a nap. That's right.
Your tweet today. Was it today that you posted that about
Yeah,
the
just a couple
naps
hours ago.
versus FOMO?
Yeah.
So
there are
good.
two wolves inside of me. One wants a nap, the other has FOMO. Which one will you
I
feed?
feel you. Yeah. I'm
It's
gonna go for the
tough.
nap one this afternoon.
Oh my gosh, me
It's
too.
been a long week.
I'm thinking about buying a new couch because I spend so much time napping on mine that it's a little too worn in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Either that or just fluff the cushions a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I actually have done a little bit, just surface Googling about the 11th hour. I used to call myself an 11th hour expert kind of thing. Like if it wasn't for the 11th hour, I'd never get anything done. People laugh at that. I seriously sometimes look at the clock and figure out how much time do I have before it's actually crunch time and I won't be able to do something on time. So for example, I spoke at a word camp, oh my gosh, 5 years ago maybe. And I knew what I wanted to talk about, but I'd never given this talk before. Therefore, I didn't have slides for it or anything like that. And it was out of town. So I drove, I don't know, 3 hours to get there. Friday night, it was a 1-day camp. Friday night, we had the speaker sponsored dinner. So that went to I don't know, 9. After that, I went back to my room and I was like, I don't feel like doing my slides yet. So I was giving my talk, I think at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. I spent the morning in the green room. If y'all don't know, usually there's a green room at word camps. I know Kathy's well acquainted as I am, where the speakers can go dump their stuff. They don't have to worry somebody's, kind of paying attention to it. You can sit in there and work on stuff. You can check email. There's usually cookies or at the very least water. It's a place where we can just kind of commune, get ready, put your, whatever, green room stuff. So there I sat for 3 hours in the morning talking to every single speaker that came through there as I was putting together my slides. I finished my slides an hour before I had to go give the talk. And It was one of the best talks I've ever given. Now, was it the best talk I've ever given because I knew my stuff? Or was it the best talk I've ever given because I waited to the last minute, didn't obsess about it? I mean, I'm going to tell you that I feel like I have to justify the 11th hour. Just because I do it so much. But it's actually on WordPress TV. I can share the link. It was about how to empower your clients to use their websites without letting them break their websites, basically, and that kind of thing. And I created the best meme. It was Bob Ross saying, that there are no customer or client mistakes, just happy little opportunities to make money off your clients. Kind of thing, oh, you messed it up. Well, that's $300 an hour to fix it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll show the link out later if you want. But yeah, so I might have done that today. So I was working on slides this morning. You and I, as we talked about last week, you and I both spoke at the Groundhog Day event. I'm the Sunny to your share.
Yes. That clock flipped to 6 a.m. and it played Sunny and Cher.
I got you, babe. That's right. So yeah, so I put the slideshow together this morning. I know you said you were practicing. I have never once practiced a talk in my entire life. I
Really?
just, I get up there and I talk with whatever's in my head about the slides I put together. Um, Smart, I don't know, tends to work for me. I got a lot of positive feedback, so it worked pretty well today, I think. But yeah,
Yeah,
so what do
I
you
watched. You did very well. You did very
think?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did mine. Well, I decided at the very last minute. Now, I've always been a Google Docs or a Google Slides kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
And at the last minute last night, I converted everything over to Canva. And so it was a completely new
Oh my.
presentation deal. And I'm doing it live. Like I'm really
Yeah.
living life on the edge. And of course, as I was, I couldn't go for it's ice storm here. And so I'm cranky this week because I haven't been able to do like my dog walks, and I'm just
Yeah.
cranky anyway. I'm just cranky anyway. But as I'm puttering about the house, I'm like, oh, I need to talk about this. So I slid that, extra slide in there and at the last minute. And I am really good at, okay, that's 40 minutes right there. And then I get in there and it's just like,
I
oh,
have to talk
it's
for an
an
hour.
hour.
I
And
know.
at about 30 minutes in, I'm like, I'm almost done. What am I going to do for another 30 minutes? So it was like, dun, 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 dun. Like, what do I do? I'm dancing. And
Yeah.
Maestro Stevens had gone right before, and he was just like on, and he had like sound effects and
Sound
everything. It was
effects. His sound effects. Oh my gosh.
crazy. He was so good, so animated. And here I am with it's just me. And I love like when I do talks and it's like then the MC comes in and asks a few questions and adds a little color and you got somebody to talk to. But for this, you were just like, 30 minutes of just me and
I
some chats.
I
So
finished
hard.
I finished at 40 minutes and then I was like, there's no MC. Who's going to ask me questions? So I like stopped sharing my screen and I went to the chat and I just scrolled down and answered questions that were in there.
Yeah,
And I was like,
same.
oh, thank you for the nice comments. Oh, thank you for the comments. Oh, thank you for the comments. And then I found some questions and then I just kind of winged it. And at 50 minutes, I was like, well, I guess we're done here. Bye, folks. Have a great rest of your day. And I was like, that's it. It's over.
Oh, when I saw you do that, I was just like, oh, I should have done that. I just like kept talking about,
Yeah.
the
Well,
ice
here's the
storm.
thing. We didn't get paid for doing this today. So
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna like stretch it any more than I had to when there was nobody else on screen, right? So
yeah,
I literally had
smart.
said everything I wanted to say. So
Yeah.
it was
Well, I
crazy
mean,
though.
I never do a talk because we're doing talks like this.
Yeah.
I never pitch a talk about something that I have to really work hard at determining what it is I'm going to say. It's just I'm going to pitch something I already know that I think is dovetails with what that audience
Hmm.
might want to hear about. So
Yeah.
11th hour, yeah. I used to do speech in college, so this is kind of like that was kind of my deal.
Yeah. I remember I took a speech class in college too. And um my speech teacher, she was the Wicked Witch of the West. She did not like me. I don't know why. It was a small Christian college, and she just had it out for me the entire 4 years I was there. And then I worked there for 4 years, and she still was rude to me. Like she
Oh,
just didn't like me for some reason, which is fine. Like I said on Twitter a few weeks ago, I am not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. But it's weird though when somebody who doesn't even know you just like has it out for you. I had to write a paper and I called it um what I call it Jill of all trades, mistress of none, because
yeah.
I'm not a man, so it wasn't jack of all trades. And the like I got like a C minus on the paper. The only positive quote was, I like the title, may I quote you on that? And I was like, yeah, go for it, whatever.
Jeez. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and here I talk for a living now for the most part. And
Yeah.
yeah, so Mrs. Elvira Berry, go take a long walk off a short pier. I don't care if you like me or not. I like me, and that's okay.
That's all that matters. Really, in the end, you're the only person you have to
Hmm.
spend your whole life with. So you better make
True.
that person happy, right? Otherwise,
Right.
what's the
Exactly.
point?
Hmm. That's why self-talk is so important, right? So the self-talk that's in our heads all the time, man,
Yes.
it's so easy to have negative play through your head all the time, but you hear that voice. Nobody else hears that voice, and you can't shut it off. So you better have a talk with that bitch and make her happy. Because otherwise, you just have to listen to her
Yeah.
complain all the time. But
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. My inner bitch is mad at me because I keep saying yes to projects that I really shouldn't say yes. Like, well, this talk I think really was really good for Cadence. And so I made time for this and didn't like spend a ton of time on it. So it made sense. But I keep saying yes to things that like are not things that things I know I can do, which I've proven to myself is a lot, but not the
yes.
things I want to do. So then I get stuck doing all the things I can do, and the things I want to do and want to get done don't get the time. And I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm doing to myself, but my inner bitch is mad at me for it. And a couple other people too. I'm like, why do you keep saying yes to stuff? Stop. It's time to
Yeah.
start saying no and just like really focus. And
Yeah. I agree. I agree. As a matter of fact, one of my friends reached out to me yesterday. I have a vacation club, which is similar to a timeshare in Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. And
wow.
she reached out yesterday. She co-owns it with me. She's like, she's like, oh, we just got the bill for our annual maintenance. And I said, oh, I paid it this morning. She's like, oh, I'll PayPal you my half. She goes, let's schedule a vacation. Like we haven't done one since before the pandemic.
Oh wow.
And I was like, this is not a time to say no. This is a time to
Yeah.
say yes. So I'm going to schedule a vacation in the Dominican Republic. And I'm looking forward to that. Some downtime.
Good for you. I'm so happy for you. That
Thank you.
definitely definitely well earned. You've got a lot of travel coming up in the next few months, huh? You're going to Asia?
I really do. I am going to Asia. Passport is supposed to be here any day. So I should be able to make it on time for WordCamp Asia. I don't think very many people knew that was hanging in the balance like that, but I was checking every single day. And today it's finally showing as approved and in the queue to be
Ooh,
printed and mailed out. Whew, yes. Um, yeah, so going to Bangkok and then a couple other things coming up, things that aren't public yet. So I can't really share, but other WordCamps and other travel that I'm super excited about.
excellent. Wow.
What about
Busy. It's
you?
almost
You
like,
have you haven't traveled in a while. You gonna try to figure out a way to do that?
yeah, I have to. There's one thing that I really, really want to do and I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so the logistics must begin of how
Yeah.
am I going to make sure someone's here for Mark and making sure he's okay. And then now I have two dogs I've got to deal with, but the little one, maybe I'll bring him. He's
Oh,
kind
why
of
not?
cute.
Do you know,
My,
like if the second in command at Automatic can bring her Great Dane with her everywhere,
oh,
you
wow.
can you can bring a tiny little puppy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I might
You,
bring my daughter with me for
oh,
this next
nice.
travel thing. So,
Yeah.
because she hasn't been able to travel at all either, because
Yeah.
who's she going to go with? One
Yeah, for
parent
sure.
is unable to really do anything, and the other one is taking care of that. So
I was
I
gonna
kind of feel
say,
like, well,
I almost interrupted to say calling you Vicky.
oh my gosh. Oh, I decided last night that if I ever write a memoir, the title is going to be My Name Isn't Vicky.
It's the perfect title, and you should write it. I would read it. I will buy a copy. But you better autograph
Gosh.
it for me and don't sign it,
See,
Vicky.
scary thing is, like, if he wants something right now, he'll start saying Vicky. But if I go in there and I say, "What's my name?" It's Kathy. But it's like, why are you calling for Vicky? Because it just like drives me nuts. And he doesn't know. It's just like
Yeah.
those wires are just when
Yeah.
he wants something or needs something, it's Vicky. But
Yeah.
I'm not
That's not, that's
Vicky.
not that's not the same as when my husband used to call me his first wife's name by accident.
Oh no.
Every once in a while I was Wendy and he'd get the evil eye. Like that is not
Yeah.
my name. Gosh, yeah.
Oh,
Crazy.
he actually told, because he was married before I was married before, and he actually said something like about how he missed his first wife, who's now deceased, but he said something about missing her and how he really like loved her and was attracted to her, and I'm like, oh bless your heart. It's a good thing you've already had a stroke. Otherwise, I didn't say it that mean, but it was what the heck. I mean, I blame it all on the stroke, that it's just like crazy things come out of his
Yeah.
mouth all the time anyway. So there's
Yeah.
another crazy thing, so it's just,
Yeah. I actually
yeah,
had to
yeah. If
explain
you
to
want to,
somebody. Do you want to what?
That's going to be the whole book is just going to be my
yeah.
name isn't Vicky, and it's just going to be all crazy
And this
things.
is why. And this is why. Yes. I had to explain to somebody recently. I don't remember who I was talking to, but I had to explain to somebody recently that bless your heart actually means quite the opposite. Like, oh, you're such a dumbass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that till I lived in the South and heard it used a couple of times. And I'm like, wait, she doesn't mean that, does she?
I
Clued
think
me into it.
you
But
watched Steel Magnolias one time and you're like, oh,
yeah,
it's all clear.
pretty
It's all
much.
clear now.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah. There are a
goodness.
lot of like really subtle things about being in the South that you just like, you have to just live here to really get exposed to them, because it's not something that you can ever
Yeah.
read anywhere. It's a
My
interesting.
my dad's second wife was from Kentucky, which a lot of people don't say is like
Yeah.
south, but it's south enough, right? And she had some of the funniest
There's
like
Waffle House.
colloquialisms. Well, yeah, there are Waffle House. There's no Waffle House in New York, so we're definitely not the South. But we were all in Hawaii when I was a teenager, and we took a vacation in Hawaii, and I was walking ahead with my brothers, and my stepmom and my dad were behind, and she said something like, "Well, if I had a swing like that, I'd put it on my front porch." It's like what?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And then she had this thing where somebody would fly by you on the road. She'd be like, "Oh, it's okay. They're just gonna go ahead and shake the bushes for bears." And I was like, "What does that even mean?" She's like, "Well, they'll get the police out after them and not us." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh my gosh.
And you'd have the shivers,
That
and
is
she'd
so
go,
funny.
"Did a snake run across your grave?" And I was like, I don't understand. What are you saying?" But yeah, I learned how to speak Gloria. It's all
Yeah.
good.
That
It's
is
all
so
good. It's all
funny.
good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So if you had to say one thing you're looking forward to in the next week that you're not going to miss out on, that you're not going to say no to because you're looking forward to it that much, what would that be? Any ideas?
My birthday's coming up and I need to do
Ooh,
something that I promised myself I was going to do. And that is to
yeah.
go to a sensory deprivation tank where no
Mm.
phones, nobody can call me Vicky in there. Nobody needs anything from me. There's
Mm-mm.
no emails that need to go out, or no Twitter
Nope.
messages to reply to, or YouTube comments to reply to. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just me, warm salt water, and whatever.
Have you done that
Nothing.
before?
Yes, I used to do it in Arizona all the time, like
Oh,
once a
nice.
month. It was my it was my thing. I would go, and the sensory deprivation tank was next to this fish restaurant the husband liked, and so I'd go drive home with the smelly fish that he liked. And it was my thing. It was just like I
That's
was the
nice.
fish, and then I'd go get some fish. And it was so nice, and it was peaceful, and it was really kind of like a forced reset so that I could
Hmm.
just like have my downtime and not, you know, there
Yeah.
was stresses and such then. So
Yeah.
lots of people needing stuff for me and everything. It hasn't really changed, but
I think
yeah, I
you should
appreciate
find a
downtime. So
local
that's my
place and
one
do it
thing.
again. Absolutely, you should do it.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
did that
I promised
once.
myself I would.
Did that once years ago, and I can agree with you. It was absolutely like good for the soul. Absolutely good for the
It really
soul.
is. I learned
Mm-hmm.
about it from from actors that were doing it. They'd go in and rehearse their lines, because you can't
Mm-hmm.
have your papers and you can't have any distractions. You're in there. You have to
True.
rehearse your lines. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds fun. I don't have lines. Can I just go do it anyway? And yep,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the best meditation ever. So yeah. So
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna do that for
awesome.
my birthday, which is coming up in a week or so. So
Oh,
how about
good.
you? What do you got coming up?
Well, I don't know if I've said this publicly or not. I know that I've told you, but I am one of 4 finalists for the Rochester Remarkable Woman of the Year. And so next Thursday, a film crew is coming out to the office to film me at work. They're gonna film me doing the Underrepresented in Tech podcast with Allie Nimmons.
Oh wow.
And they're going to talk to Jeff Betancourt from the office from Give WP, who nominated me, and just kind of interview me and see what I do at work. And then on the following Saturday, which is the 11th, which is actually my dad's birthday, I am doing a day of family photography. I donate time. I donate a day every
Wow.
year just to the Buy Nothing, Sell Nothing group, because those are people who are looking to save some money. A lot of them have families, and do a day of family photography. I've got people set up like every half hour, 8 different families to come in, because and I don't always do
Wow.
it like right in February, but the WROC TV that does this award wanted to see me doing the photography for these families. And so I set up a day and 8 families jumped right into it, and I'm doing a full day of photography. So I'm excited about both of those things. It's exciting to kind of be in the spotlight a little bit, and especially because I do a lot that I think benefits other people. And so to be able to
Yeah.
show how and to showcase like the underrepresented in tech podcast to me is super exciting, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
Amazing. That's so
Thank you.
great. You better get some pictures and stuff and post them on social. I can't wait to see.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That'll be a lot of fun for sure. And then they're going to run that on the news in the month of March, which is Women's History Month. So exciting stuff.
Amazing.
Thanks.
That's
Yeah,
so
I'm
great.
excited. Yeah.
Congratulations. I'm so proud of you.
And happy birthday to you. So very exciting. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Let us know what you're doing this week. Hit us up on socials. We ask that every time. Nobody's taken us up on it yet. So if you listen this far, I don't care what it is you have to say. You're going to win something. If you've listened this far and you tweeted us about
Yes.
something exciting, Kathy and I are going to come up with some kind of prize. I don't care if it's a gift card to Starbucks or one of my books, but there's going to be a prize. And so you're going to get something just to show that you hung in till the end. So thank you.
Sounds
Thank you,
good. I
Kathy.
got some ideas.
Oh, good. Me too. Awesome. All right, everybody. Have a great week, Kathy. Thank you for everything. And we'll see everybody later. Bye.
Bye.
This has been WP Motivate with Kathy Zant and Michelle Frechette. To learn more or to sponsor us, go to WPMotivate.com.